Let's get ready to start the show up. Red approves as he waves the starting flag. So celebrate all that is Cardinal athletics. We're going to slip a lot of highlights at you, so get comfortable. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night and a very busy Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We're not going to have any time to banter, and I'm sure that everybody's really not pleased about that. So we're going to have to get right into it.
We have a lot of highlights for you, 9 game highlights, plus a preview of the boys swimming and diving team, so we're going to get right to it. Boys hockey started the week on Tuesday taking on the Rogers Royals, and this was a good one to the bitter end. Cardinals lose in overtime 1-0. Once again, Zach St. John called on to make far too many saves. He made 50, but he saw 51. There you saw it. Shots on goal, 51 for Rogers, only 12 for Coon Rapids. Well, that loss to Rogers was one of the Cardinals' better played games so far this season. It seemed to set them up perfectly for the conference opener on Thursday. However, the opponent would be a much greater challenge. Although the Maple Grove Crimson were winless through their first 4 games, they were in the top 10 in the preseason rankings, and they have a lot of talent that is hard to slow down. Crimson already up 1 late in the first. Josh Passel cuts through the slot, drops a perfect pass for Matt Vogel, who 1 times into the net. Maple Grove has a 2-0 lead. They come out flying and get in the second. Sam Huff gets around the corner, then shoots back to the short side to add another goal less than a minute into the period. That top line just creating tons of chances. Passel leaves it for Huff, a little give and go. The one-timer, this time St. John is able to squeeze it. Crimson keep coming even shorthanded. Jarrett Camerata forces the turnover at the blue line, races in on net. St. John makes the save, but Colton Siemens is right there to jam the rebound home. It's a 4-goal lead for Maple Grove. They add 1 more in the second period. Siemens working down the left wing, feeds it out front. Joe Norenberg will take the backhand for the score. Crimson score 2 more in the third and win this one easily 7-0. And Howie, we were there. You could tell in that third period the Cardinals hanging their shoulders a little bit and getting a little frustrated.
Yeah, and I think they ran out of gas. I think a little bit in that third period, and the physicality was big, especially on the part of Maple Grove. And and I think that this was a team that was difficult for the Cardinals to match up with.
Yeah,
at least this time in the year.
Especially, I think, in speed, that top line.
Yep,
very
really good.
Fast and very good.
Absolutely. Well, the Cardinals were back on their home ice again on Saturday, and once again facing a good team still looking for its first victory. Totino Grace was coming off a 6-1 loss to Blaine in its conference opener and hoping to have a better effort against the Cardinals. Coon Rapids, looking to break their own 3-game losing streak, felt this was an opportunity to turn things around. It was a special night at the Ice Center as the boys hockey team presented red with a super fan #1 jersey during the pregame, and the Cardinals used that motion to get the fast start. On the power play, just over a minute into the game, they will play it behind the net. Wilfred Raker rebound tries to jam it home, but the rebound comes out to Noah Cross, who finishes it. Cards are on the board just 1:18 into the game. Now that lead's going to hold until about midway through the second. The Eagles play it back to the point. Their only shot and a great tip by Cam Fagerly would even the score. It's still 1-1 in the third. Eagles getting more and better chances to this breakaway for Andrew Schneider. Gets St. John to go down, but he can't put it away. Still, Totino continues bringing pressure, forces the turnover, and this time they capitalize. Colin Monk dives and sweeps. Puck back out in front, and you saw Joey Gray putting it home. Totino adds another power play a few minutes later. Blake Vagel getting into the slot and slipping it through the pads on St. John was all the insurance they needed, and the Cardinals are going to fall to the Eagles by a score of 3-1.
Much better effort in
Absolutely.
that game than it was against Maple Grove. I spoke with Coach Moe on Sunday evening about it. He was a lot happier about that effort. Said, they really felt they were in that game. They were moving their feet. They were doing all the things right. Just still looking to get a few more shots on goal and create a little more pressure at their opponent's net.
Yeah, it's a key. Obviously, you got to be able to score, and more shots give you better opportunities and better chances. And I think as this season progresses, they'll get to that point.
Yeah. Cardinals are at Spring Lake Park on Thursday. They host St. Paul Como on Saturday. Girls hockey team started last week facing new conference rival Iredale, a team they didn't know that much about. What they did know is the Knights were playing strong against Northwest Suburban teams. They were a game below 500, but they had beaten Blaine and Andover, and they had tied with Anoka. So it was clear this wasn't going to be an easy one. Pick up the action in the second. Cardinals trailing 3-0, trying to get their offense going. This puck is played toward the net. It's going to just sit in front of the keeper as Irondale does a nice job tying up Cardinal sticks and clearing the puck. Knights going back the other way. Sina Hansen knocked off her feet, but still makes a great backhand pass. Danielle Frankie makes it pay off, beating Buell to the glove side, and Irondale has a 4-0 lead. Cardinals finally get on the board less than a minute later on the power play. Hansen keeps it in. Brina carry toward the slot, find Bailey Ryan there for the one-timer. Coon Rapids is on the board. Late in the second, great individual effort by Lily Hackett. Watch this one. Plays it off the board to herself. Then watch this shot. Short side, top shelf. That's where Grandma keeps the cookies. Pretty goal to make it 4-2 going to the third period. But the Knights get that one back early in the third. Maria Donato blocks the shot at the point and races to the other end. She's going to tuck the wrist shot just inside the far post. Irondale's lead is back to 3 goals. Cardinals answer quickly. Pressuring in deep. Puck is going to squirt out to the point. Hansen fires it through a lot of traffic and somehow finds its way to the back of the net. Made it 5-3 with plenty of time left. There was about 14 and a half minutes in the game. The Cardinals just couldn't find another goal, and that would be the final 5-3. Talked to Coach Christofferson after that one, and she said that's another game that we should have won. Not a game we could have won, but a game we should have won. And that has been something for the girls hockey team that they've done a number of times already this season, outshooting and downright dominating opponents, but not able to finish enough to get the W.
Yeah, we've seen that a number of times, and those are things, too, that hopefully will correct itself as the season goes. But I got to ask you a quick question. What kind of cookies does Grandma keep up there, do you know?
Any type you like. That was a really pretty goal by Lily
Yes, that
Hackett.
was. Beautiful goal.
Maybe, though, not quite as pretty. We don't know for sure because we don't have them on tape, but not as pretty as the 2 goals the Cardinals scored on Saturday. Why? Because that's all they needed to beat the Blaine Bengals in overtime. And we all know about the rivalry between Coon Rapids and Blaine, especially in a number of sports, really, but especially in girls hockey. Cardinals getting goals from Hanula and Whitney Gregg. Gregg got the winner in overtime. Brittany Buell made 31 saves, and the Cardinals kind of walking on cloud 9 on Saturday evening. Saw a couple of the girls at the boys hockey game, saw the coaches at the boys hockey game, and everyone very excited to get that big 2-1 win, and they hope to carry that momentum on. They have Andover. This is their only game this week. They're at home against Andover on Tuesday, and then they have a week off before they host Centennial, and both of those will be big, important games for the Cardinals. Wrestling team, big matchup this week as they face Section 7 3A opponent Cambridge Isani, and they beat the Blue Jackets 36-22. That's a big win for this program early in the season. There you see a couple of pins. Mike Jones, Jared Jolkowski, and Josh Bryant. Mike Bothwell get the 16-0 Tech fall at the end of the second period. So a nice way their season continuing to start on the right foot.
No, without a doubt. Then the Cardinals carried some serious momentum from Friday night's win into Saturday's big tournament, the Board Highland Duels. The annual tournament is named for the 2 coaches that started the Coon Rapids program, so the Cardinals take a great deal of pride in doing well. And they would have to be ready because this year's lineup included the top-ranked AA team in Minnesota. Cardinals fell behind early in the first round match as Little Falls had pins in 3 of the first 4 weight classes. But Coon Rapids starts to dominate through the middle weights. Joe Bothwell with a nice armbar to put his man to the mat early in the second period at 160, giving the Cardinals their first lead 24-21. They would win all the remaining matches and get another pin from Alex Calderella at 182. You see the pin there. Now we're going to move late to the second period. Going to get control of the opponent's head and rolls him over to his shoulders. We saw Caldero's season off to a nice start. We talked about Michael Bothwell a couple of times, but the Cardinal captain beefed up early in the offseason, adding nearly 40 pounds of muscle, and it's paying off. He dominated Michael Schultz and earns the 16-0 Tech fall at 195. Tim Mandyke will finish the match in style for the Cards. Tight battle late in the third period at heavyweight. Mandyke with a 2-0 lead. He's not satisfied with the decision, finally able to roll the man on his back, get the slap on the mat. There's 5 seconds left in the third period. And the Cardinals, they're going to cruise to that 48-21 win. Another nice win for the program.
Absolutely. And how about back-to-back Tech falls for
like that
for
Michael Bothwell,
the biggest Bothwell.
Yeah,
the biggest. There's 3 in the lineup, in the varsity lineup.
The one that had a lot of beef during the offseason.
Yeah, moving up to 195. Cardinals moved on to the semifinals to face a White Bear Lake team that had beaten Mounds View soundly in the first round. This match would follow a similar script to that one, the one with Little Falls. Bears had hope early. The Cardinals just too strong in the middle and upper weights, and they never really stood a chance. Cardinals gave up a pin at 106. 113-pound captain Mike Jones gets it right back for them. He gets Tony Adair in the cradle midway through the first period, able to put him on his back. And that will even the match at 6 points apiece. I think they worked on the cradle sometime between Friday and Saturday because you're going to see it a lot. 132 pounds, match tied at 9, but not for long. Jared Dubkowski gets his man in the cradle almost immediately. He's just going to settle a leg in order to get the slap on the mat. Just 35 seconds to get the pin, put the Cardinals in front where they would stay. 145 pounds, Josh Bryant making quick work of his man as well. He starts with what move? Oh, the cradle. Then he gives up on that, just squeezes the headlock instead, gets chest to chest on him, and he'll get that pin late in the first period. A lot of pins for the Cardinals over the weekend, a lot of them coming in the first period. Cardinals just needed a decision to clinch the victory as they get to 195 pounds. White Bears' Austin Devaney tries a hip toss on Michael Bothwell, and that's a bad idea. He gets caught. Bothwell takes him straight to the mat, another pin. Bothwell ensures the Cardinal spot in the championship. Mandike gets another pin at heavyweight too. Cardinals go on to the 42-18 victory.
Yeah, nice couple of matches for Coon Rapids, and getting those wins is, as we talked about, good for the program. They're facing a lot of good quality competition early on in the season.
Well, they saw the best of one of the best of the best. Simley, as Howie mentioned, the top-rated AA team in Minnesota in the championship, and they gave up a pretty good battle, losing 39-26. But you look at it, they're 6-2 overall. Yep. Their losses to Hastings, who was ranked number 6 in the state in AAA,
yep,
and Simley, who's rated number 1 in the state in AA. And it'll be interesting to see. I think the next rankings come out later this week.
I think tomorrow, Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday.
I think it's Wednesday. I think it's
Wednesday.
The 12th.
Okay.
But anyway, it'll be interesting to see. The Cardinals were 8 in that preseason ranking. They've beaten Cambridge Isani now. They beat Prior Lake, who was ranked number 3. A couple of losses through their first 8, but again, to top-ranked teams. So it'll be interesting to see where they're at in that next ranking. And as we talked about in the preview, they think they're better than number 8, and they want to be up in that top 4 or 5 by the end of the season. Busy week this week. They have a tri-meet on Thursday at Osakis. Browerville will also be there. And then on Friday, they host a quad meet with Maple Grove, Centennial, and Henry Sibley. So getting a lot of wrestling against some very good competition early on in the season.
Yeah, we'll get our first chance to see him, I believe, next week, next Thursday, I think it is, the 18th.
I believe that's correct.
Should be fun.
Sounds right.
Always good.
Sounds right.
Well, then it must be right if it sounds right to you. After just one full week of practice, the swimming and diving team starts this season with 2 big events. On Thursday, the Cardinals have a dual meet against Elk River, and then they turn right around and compete in the Northwest Suburban Conference Relays on Saturday. It'll be an interesting year for this program, as they'll be challenged by more than just the teams they face.
My first year, there was probably 36 kids, and now we're down to 18, so we do what we can with the kids we have.
Not only are the Cardinals' numbers down, but they have a lot of kids who are new to the sport, so they know they need to start with the basics.
What we're doing these first couple weeks is we're really working a lot on fundamentals and trying to build a foundation. We're strong in some events like the backstroke and the shorter freestyle events. We need to build some depth in our off strokes like IM and breaststroke and butterfly.
The Cardinals are actively looking to recruit more kids to join the team in hopes of building the program's numbers back up. They're also bringing in a team building expert to help create unity and bring a sense of pride to the guys they do have. Everyone knows this will be a season about building for the future.
This year, we're not really focusing on wins. It's more about developing the younger kids. We're really gearing up towards more future swimming programs, as we're this year, it's more about developing and just getting better times.
The schedule is adding a bit of an additional challenge for the Cardinals, as they are diving into their meet schedule very quickly.
In the past years, we've had like 2 or 3 weeks to prepare. This is going to be a fast one. We've had 1 week to practice, so it'll be just like a learning phase for all of them.
The Cardinals do have the benefit of having a handful of good senior leaders that are incredibly focused. They're all trying to finish their careers at the top of their games, but they're also focused on leaving the program on the path to a better place.
You know what? Just have fun, be with the team. You know what? Just have fun. Yeah, I know my times. I'm trying to beat my times. And that's my highest point. I want to beat my times. So, and help these guys as much as I can. So, be a captain.
The Cardinals are expecting big things from their veterans, but they see a lot of potential in the newer members as well. And they're not limiting their expectations just because their numbers are down.
I would like to see us have 4 people in every event at sections, and then get at least 1 person every event in finals at sections. There's a chance that we could have 1 or 2 state qualifiers this year.
No matter what the season holds, it's clear the Cardinals have the right attitude. They're making no excuses and will give everything that they have every time they get in the water.
Don't hold back. Just go as all. Again, you only live it once, so just go all at it. Just try to push it.
So a rough start for them. We talk about it. You know, sometimes it's nice to start with a little bit of lesser opponent.
Right.
Oak River usually a pretty good team, so they jump right into it. Both feet.
They had no
diving
doubt,
head first,
and hopefully they'll make a splash.
Hopefully they will. And then, of course, on Saturday is the Northwest Suburban Conference Relays, which, as we've talked about for years, just more than anything, an opportunity for all of the coaches to kind of get a better idea of what they have on their roster, because they swim a bunch of relay-type events that they won't have anything close to that the rest of the year. So kind of an interesting event that they do year after year.
And numbers, they certainly could use some additional numbers.
If there's anyone out there looking for a winter sport and you can swim, give them a call. Only 18 kids. Well, if you think about it, there's 12 events. 3 of those are relays that have 4 kids. So that's a lot of spots to fill with only 18 kids. And you can only swim 4 events total.
It makes it difficult when you have those kind of numbers.
And you want to have JV events. Anyhow, if you're interested in joining the boys swimming and diving team, there may just be a spot for you.
You too could make a splash.
Correct. Well, the gymnastics team, they did make a splash getting their season started last week. The Cardinals got just what they wanted to start with. It's always nice to see the first opponent of the year as one of the teams towards the bottom of the Northwest Suburban. With so many elite teams in this conference, a match against Osseo helps with confidence and momentum to open the schedule. We start on the beam. Becky Lammers with the handspring. A little bit of a wobble, but she stays up. And then on her dismount, good speed and rotation on the flip. A little step, but still a solid 6.95. She finished 3rd on the beam and 3rd in the all-around. Captain Kennedy Koval leading the way for her team on 3 of the 4 events, and beam is one of them. Koval's routine was complex, but still smooth. She takes first place with a 7.9. Tell by the reaction here after the dismount that she was pretty happy with that effort. Hannah Gross had a nice night for the Cardinals as well. She took 1st on the vault, 2nd on the bars. Her floor routine is going to score a 7.25, puts her in 5th place, but she's still 2nd overall. This was clearly Kennedy Koval's night. She dominates the floor, even with the little extra step on that run. She scores an 8.5, almost a full point ahead of 2nd. Koval was 1st in the all-around as well with a 31.55. Cardinals 116.35 wins over Osceo's 102 flat, and they were hoping to start with a 120, which is kind of where they peaked last year. So a couple points away from where they were hoping to start, but nice to see it against Osseo. And then the next this week they've got a couple of dual meets, and one is going to be against one of those elite teams. They're at Maple Grove on Tuesday, and Maple Grove, one of those teams that typically will put up 130, 135. But then they're at Park Center on Thursday, another team toward the bottom. So a chance for the Cardinals to go out and really see what they have against one of those elite teams, and then go and maybe get another win against Park Center. But as with swimming and diving and so many of these other individual team sports, they just want to see their numbers go up. They want to see every girl improving her score on every event, and the team score gradually getting back to where they hope it will be.
Well, and I'm sure they obviously wanted to get to that 120 mark, but the nice thing is they got the win. So they can look and see where they need to improve in certain events and hopefully get to that 120 mark here in their next couple of meets.
Well, and talking to Coach Bonson last week when we did the preview, and for the last few years they said bars is definitely not their favorite, but the numbers they put up on the bars, we didn't have the camera there when they were on the bars. but their bar scores were pretty good.
Great.
So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Nordic ski team started its season last week with an age group race at Elm Creek. We start with the boys. Top 9th grade finishers are Paul Breitbach and Zandarowski. They finished 3rd and 4th among 9th graders, 35th and 37th overall. Coughlin and Thone are the 6th and 7th top 10th graders, 26th and 43rd overall. Matthews and Keeker, Matthews, the first place finisher among juniors, was 4th overall. Keeker was 5th among juniors, 30th overall. Mehrhoff, 5th among seniors, 9th overall. And Ryan Haida was 7th among seniors and 11th overall. For the girls, Olivia Ellenbecker was the top 7th grader. This is not a lot of the 7th graders we got, but a 15th place finish overall as a 7th grader is pretty darn impressive.
Without a doubt.
Her sister finished 2nd among 8th graders. The top 8th grader was a girl from Blaine who finished 2nd overall. So that's pretty impressive for them, but a solid 11th place finish overall for her. Haberman was 3rd place among 8th graders, 42nd overall. O'Grady, 15th among 10th graders, only 10th grader for the Cardinals in the event. Ford was 9th among juniors. Weimholt was 11th. They were 36th and 46th overall. Caitlin Benson, senior captain, 2nd place among seniors, 3rd overall. And Zabaski was in 5th place among seniors, 18th overall. More age group races coming up for the Nordic ski team. They did the age group classic race today at Elm Creek. We did not get the results in time, but we will have them for you next week on Sportsnight. They have a 7.5 kilometer skate race at Woodland Trails next Tuesday, and then 7.5 kilometer classic at Greenhaven on January the 6th. So they have a little bit of a break there for the holidays after that skate race at Woodland Trails on Tuesday.
Very cool. We'll talk a little round ball. Talk a little basketball.
Well, can I mention just real quick,
fine.
before we get there, that the Alpine ski team starts its season next week at Wild Mountain.
We don't want to leave them out. So
now,
good job, Joe.
Now we will talk about
some
the basketball.
hoops.
Is that all right?
Some hoops. That's fine with me. If it works for you.
It works for me.
All right, good. Well, after scoring their first win of the,
that's my name.
I know.
Up there. Isn't that?
Yeah,
but you know what?
But
it is.
Yeah,
I just
but
did.
It's my turn. Yeah, I know. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. After scoring their first win of the year, this is what Joe was supposed to read, but I'm reading now. After scoring their first win of the year over St. Anthony the weekend before, the boys basketball team opened their conference schedule last Tuesday in Elk River. The Elks are always a tough team to play, and they would be coming in hungry after losing a 2-point game to Moorhead on Saturday. And while they were the favorite, the Elks certainly weren't going to take Coon Rapids lightly, especially in the conference opener in their own building. Cardinals came out flying and able to take the early lead. Chris Buckley spotting up for a 3-pointer that put Coon Rapids in front by 4. But the Elks have guys who can answer. Trent Pink drives the lane and kicks it out to Jaron Haywood, who has a wide open look. He knocks down the 3. Elk River has 5 3-pointers in the first half. Next trip down the court, Hayward will dribble inside, just a handoff to Mitch Ouija at the top of the key, drains another, although the Cardinals, for the most part, kept them in check. Late in the half, the pass by Marcus Rask is picked off by Zeke Delane. He'll dish it to Ouija to finish the fast break. Elks end the first with a 13-2 run and lead by 12 at the half. Big downfall for the Cardinals was rebounding. Just too many chances off the offensive glass for Elk River after 2 misses by Matt Keller. Trent Pink gets the putback. The Cardinals are able to rally to a certain extent in the second. Timmy Wynn jumping in the passing lane for this one. His layup is short, but Peyton Foy is right there to put it back home. The Cardinals are able to get back within 5. They're late in the game, but the Elks are going to hold on for the 66-55 win.
A pretty good effort, really, to come
really
back,
was.
Especially with Chris Buckley in foul trouble early, missed considerable time in the first half, and then came out in the second and got another
got his
quick
fourth
one
right away.
and then fouled out. I mean, he really didn't spend that much time. It's impressive that he got out there and had 16 points in what little time he had on the floor. Also impressive that they got 3 different guys to that 16-point mark. Him, Timmy Wynn, and Sam Carver each had 16. You know, they did a nice job limiting Ouija, but the other guys on the Elks really picked it up. Keller, I think, had 17 or 18. Pink had 14. They're a good basketball team.
Are, no doubt.
You know, the 11-point, I don't think it was as bad as 11 points. It's just the Cardinals, you know, if they have their full complement on, and their coach even said in the halftime interview, mentioned Buckley by name, saying how much a difference it makes having him on the floor. They have to change how they play defense.
Oh, without a doubt. It opens up so many more different things for the Cardinal offense that they're forced to change their defensive scheme.
Well, the Cardinals played again on Friday, and they come up just one short against Spring Lake Park, losing 72-71 to the Panthers. Chris Buckley, 31 points in that one. Timmy Wynn had 14. Peyton Foy added 12. Carver and Brick each put in 5. Cardinals host Champlin Park on Tuesday. They're at Anoka on Thursday. Girls basketball team opened its season last week on the road against Forest Lake. It's a young Cardinals program under the leadership of a new coaching staff. It'll be very interesting to see how the season goes, and the game against the Rangers was just the first step on that long road. Crunch was in the house, getting the home crowd pumped up to start the season. Irondale on offense, but they get a little careless with the ball, and Marina Nyberg makes them pay. Cardinals sophomore runs the floor and lays it in, turning the turnover into an early lead. Still early in the first, game tied. Cheyenne Signer with a nice cross-court feed by Nyberg alone for the 3. She puts the Cardinals back in front. Nyberg finished with 15 points in the game. But Forest Lake has some girls who can shoot too. Hannah Vidlin finds some open space on the wing, hits from three-point range to make it 20-19 Rangers. The game was tied at 31 at the half. Forest Lake takes control in the second, though, and it's Vidlin leading the way. She hits another one from long range. That one gave the Rangers a 12-point lead. Nyberg again working off the dribble, able to find a lane and go straight to the hole, but this one is out of reach. Forest Lake just on cruise control late in the game. Abby Asperheim finishes this one off. Rangers finish off the Cardinals 72-48 is the final. It'll be interesting. We get a chance to see them for the first time.
We do.
At Champlin Park on Tuesday. It'll be very interesting to talk to Coach Peterson and find out how she felt about what happened between half 1 and half 2 in that Forest Lake game.
Well, I did talk to Coach Peterson today, and I can give you the answer to that. I mean, they played really well in that first half. They made a lot of mental errors in that second half, and, you know, and their youth really kind of picked up. They turned the ball over more than they wanted, and they just didn't have the same kind of energy that they had in the first half. But overall, she felt very pleased with the effort. She's very excited with the matchup for Champlin. She was at the Eden Prairie game where Champlin lost the other night. Says this is an opportunity for us to get our first win. They're pretty excited about coming in.
Well, they're on the road against Champlin on Tuesday, and we'll be there. They host Anoka on Thursday. There you see it. That's our only game this week. And then next Thursday, as we mentioned earlier, the Cardinal wrestling team hosting St. Francis, another tough Section 7 opponent coming to the Fieldhouse. I expect a good crowd and a great match. Then on Saturday, December 20th, a special night for the girls hockey program as they retire the number 7 sweater of Miss Rachel Bana. We are pleased to be there and have that one.
That'll be fun.
But that's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us to continue to support everything we do here at CTN for the entire crew, including Howie, the one and only Howie Shapiro. I'm Joe Young. Say goodnight.